Hey, my name's Declan Xav. I'm an aspiring director. I'm going to take you through my performance breakdowns and shot process and how I actually work on my stuff in preparation for the short films. So the best way I've found, and it's actually inspired by how a lot of actors like to approach their work, is like you do all of the work beforehand. You have broken everything down in that script. You know it back to front. And then from there, you throw that all away because you know you've done the work, you know you've done the prep. And then when you get there, you know you are ready to take anything on. You can bring in a little couple notes. It's always good to have like the important things highlighted, but for the most part, that's a great way to start off with the breakdown. So how I pretty much go about it is I've got my script in front of me and I will just read that thing page by page. For me, shot-wise, it's really easy to just visualize it whilst I'm doing it. So I kind of try and focus on the performance, number one. So starting off with that performance breakdown, we're gonna be looking at it from the perspective of like Claire and Francis, because that's the script I'm working on at the moment. So like from Claire's perspective, how is each action and intention brought across? So it's like when Francis makes out with her boyfriend, how did that make Claire feel? It makes her feel shitty because she's the third in the relationship and she wants revenge and she's jealous and all those kind of things. And you can really like extrapolate that out into anything. It could be like, oh, maybe she actually is in on it. She wants to be part of that relationship, like a three-way, that kind of thing. So really just put out every single possibility and then you can kind of make decisions on it. I like to have like a general idea of what I want, but not be like too hard-nosed on it and too hardcore, because then once you're discussing with the actors, you can still be open and flow and they're gonna bring their own perspectives and opinions to that. So you're gonna do that for like every character, and usually whilst I'm doing that, because I'm a very visual person, I can just kind of see the script in front of me whilst I'm like understanding the characters. The shots will start coming to me and just bullet point them down like quickly. Like you don't have to have your shot list open with every single detail and then like doing a drawing of it and like here's the frame and we're gonna use a dolly. Like that's too much for your brain to process and it's gonna take you so much longer. So you know when you go back, you're gonna be able to actually like add to it and build to it. And then from there, continuing the performance breakdown, it's now like up to you to get into rehearsals and try and bring across the script, whether it's theater games or whatever that is for you, or just a really deep discussion of how you're kind of viewing it and how they're kind of viewing it and how you can just marry that together, and building a whole lot of trust during the table reads, during the rehearsals, and even like pre-shoot rehearsals. They're all going to be really important for actually bringing that idea and that vision across that you're looking for. And then pivoting more into the shot side of it, you can then build from there. So you've got your bullet points of generally what you want from the script. And then I like to, and I've been finding it absolutely fantastic lately, use Shot Deck actually. But you can use any resource, you can do your own research. Film Grab's another good one that's free. But you get on there and you can just search up the shots that you want specifically in professional Hollywood films. And it can just give you the general gist, especially for your DP and your art director, production designer. All of those people are gonna wanna see like what the shots are gonna look like so they can set the production design properly or light it properly. So all of those things are gonna be important to bring that visual element to it, especially someone like me who doesn't draw. I used to try and storyboard it, but it's so important for me as a director is like to use that shot deck, because when you're sitting in the storyboarding or you're drawing it, I ended up finding that I would get more locked in and I couldn't improvise on the fly and flow and move. And I had one of my DPs say to me, it's like, you've got to trust your shots, you know what you've got there. And on the day, you should be able to like, oh, okay, position of power, we can move it down here. But like, you've just got the general gist kind of sitting there. And that really helped magnify what I'm looking for. I think when you're doing your first few films, it really helped me to feel more confident, to have everything meticulously planned out. But now that I know more and I know how stuff cuts together and I know how people are gonna flow together, letting it be free is going to be massive for everybody's flow on set and everyone feeling good and bringing that best product across in the moment. Because just as much as the actor wants to put themselves in the moment, you want to put yourself in the moment. And once I've done all that shot checking, I'll put it into a shot list. Then it's also super easy to help describe how the shot's going to be, because you are looking at an example of the shot. which really helps for me as well. And then talk about the DP, make sure you have everything nailed down, day editing shots, any of that kind of stuff. That really helps as well. Basically, that's what I've been working off lately, and that's what's been working really fantastically for me. So after you've done your performance breakdown and your shots in that early stage when you're building foundation, another thing to think about is how the character is actually moving the shot. Stuff that an actor can physically interact with really helps elevate their performance. And two characters sitting across from each other is visually boring, it's difficult to act with, and it's hard to just watch the flow. So if you're making those characters move around and do things, it's really gonna help. There's no point in forcing movement in there. If there's not necessary, it's not necessary. I've shot scenes at tables where, you know, they're minimally moving, but then other scenes where, you know, there are two characters sitting on the floor, it's like, well, maybe they'd stand up here, or maybe they'd pace the room, or that kind of thing really helps not only the actors but the audience's kind of engagement. But an underlying part of this video, which if you're going to take anything away from it, I think you should take this away, is the fact that it's all about letting yourself flow, letting your creativity come out. If you're really struggling to plan out shots, even writing scripts, all those kind of things, you got to just make it as easy for yourself as possible, because people are lazy, and it's gonna make you avoid those things if you're like, holy crap, I have to do all of this stuff to get to here. Whereas if you make it so easy that it's just, okay, I'll just bullet point the general gist down of every single thought I have, then I can extrapolate it from there, and then it's like a step up and a step up and a step up. Like once you're off that blank page, once you got stuff there, so much easier to work off. And it's not a quick process, like it takes a while. You'll put days and weeks into it, even for like a 5-page script, which is what I normally am working off of. But that doesn't matter, because you're putting that much effort and that much work into each script, and each project you make will come out in your work and will come across.